Over the course of the last 20 years, suicides have been on the rise. Some would go so far as to call it an epidemic. And the statistics are mind-boggling. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the United States, and over half of American suicides involve firearms. To better understand how to prevent suicide, we have to first look at some of the causes.
When you start talking about suicide, it's a huge spider web. Like, it's not just this one thing. It's mental health and mental fitness, it's emotional health, it's physical health, it's are you connected to other people?
That's Ms. Yates. She's become one of the leading staff members at the CCA campus for promoting student wellness. So, what can be done about such a huge problem? We spoke with Mr. Steinberger, CCA's contact for suicide prevention, to gain a better understanding of the situation.
I think when we're talking about preventing suicide, that puts a lot of pressure on people to try to prevent something. I think a better mentality I learned from watching some of the presentations we've had is talking about promoting health and wellness and coping skills is the best way to spread to everyone ways to deal with that. Another great idea is that if someone is in crisis, to listen. People myself included, have a tendency to think, I'm going to solve this. But solving it isn't always the goal. It's just to help people feel that there's hope. It's the kind of the hope versus no hope balance.
Evidently, experts agree that the rising suicide rates are certainly a problem, but opinions frequently differ on whether a large governmental response or a smaller, more localized approach is better, mainly because people have different views of what the word better means in this context. However, most everyone agrees that suicide prevention needs to be taken very seriously.
I think it should be prioritized at a very high level. I don't think there's anything more important. So I think that we're doing a good job, and we're working on improving. And I think California as a state did a great job making it a law. Schools are now required to take on prevention, and I think that's having a great ripple effect through all districts.
And California has been doing a good job. Looking at the numbers, it seems obvious. These laws need to be expanded across the country. But it doesn't have to be big things either. Little changes like putting suicide prevention hotlines on the back of student ID cards really can have a big difference. But at CCA, it would appear that the top priority for suicide prevention is a focus on emotional intelligence.
There is a plethora of research behind emotional intelligence, and increasing funding for that is going to naturally increase an inoculation against suicide.
But how can we fund all of these changes that we want to implement in such a widespread manner?
I think people realizing that we've got an epidemic on our hands is critical to changing the way things are funded. I don't know where the funding's going to come from, but like, people have the money for what they want to have money for. Our government has the money for what they find important, and so there's money to be found somewhere.
All of this feels like a lot, and there's no clear solution to the problem, or it'd be solved already. But in the future, we hope that through greater awareness and increased focus on wellness and emotional intelligence, this epidemic can be brought to an end.